my name is Giovanni Di Liberto, and I'm a postdoctoral researcher at ENS here at the Laboratoire des Systèmes Perceptifs. In my research, I study speech perception. So speech is a main form of communication. It's a way to transfer a message from a speaker to a listener. It's amazing, like this vibration reaches your ear and you have to transform it into electrical signals. And then the brain has to deal with this signal and decode the message that I want to communicate. One extremely cool thing is that we can actually keep understanding speech in the most complex environments. We can understand speech in a noisy bar, at a stadium, when in a situation where there are many people talking around us, it's very difficult, but we can still do it. And our brain makes it feel as it's something easy to do. The idea is that participants are listening to speech, and this speech can be presented in different forms. So, for example, the simple experiment is where people are listening to an audiobook. Another experiment that we run is instead trying, is called selective attention. So the idea that we have multiple people talking, and we have to attend to one of the two. So that's the task. People have to focus on one of the two speakers. I'll give you an example now.
In the year 1866, the whole maritime population of America was excited by a mysterious and...
So there are two people speaking. Of course, this is done over headphones, and so the subject has to attend to one of the two. And so what you can do is that you can try to understand, for example, the question, how are we that good in focusing on the person that we want while there is a terrible noise around us? The idea is that participants wear this sort of swimming cap, let's say, and we just stick this type of electrodes. It's just recording the activity that you have already on the surface of your head. In this case, there are 64 electrodes. So basically, each of these lines is the electrical activities, the voltage of each of the electrodes, and so we have 64 of them. The other thing that we are trying to do is instead the technological application. You know what hearing aids are. They simply, if you want to amplify the sound that you hear. If you go into a noisy environment, what happens is that this device is going to amplify everything. What you care about and what you don't care about. Instead, if we could say through EEG who we want to attend to. So if I'm listening to Florence, that speech, that voice is going to be better represented by my brain. So by measuring voltage measures here, I'm actually going to see that her voice is going to be stronger, better represented than your voice. So by doing that, then we can go back into my microphone, into the hearing aid microphone, and amplify what I care about. And if you want, suppress what I don't care about. It was my second experiment, the second experiment of my PhD, and we were facing a challenge. And so the option was either to do an experiment that was 1 hour and a half long, or doing an experiment that was 3 hours long. And so I chose to go for the shortest experiment, because when you have long experiments, there are many extra issues, and it was just simple to do it in that way, and I was sure of having good quality data within 1 hour and a half. And that was a bad decision. We had some good trouble in trying to figure out a way to explain the results, and simply because the experiment that you try to develop many times doesn't go exactly as you want, and so it's better to have some extra control conditions, and that was a bad choice for me. I mean, you can have a great supervisor that helps you a lot it tells you in which direction you should go, in which direction you shouldn't, but at the same time is not going to know everything, every single thing you do. So you're going to make mistakes, and those mistakes are going to be very useful. if you can deal with that, in the sense that you need to be aware that that's something that just is normal, even when you're an experienced researcher, because you explore something new. Nobody knows about these things that you're trying to explore, so it's normal that there are mistakes. So it's not easy, but then it just becomes a normal thing. Research is like that.